Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. First off, thanks for watching and thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, well, you know what to do. So if you like the thumbnail, I'm going to show you guys a little bit on prep work prior to paint. Stripping this car to bare metal as I do in all my cars in past videos. This car, the rear clip on this car is single stage, so it's pretty easy to strip down to bare metal and it's never been painted. Now, I've been asked many a times on my channel, do I prefer to use paint stripper? How do I strip cars to bare metal? Do I sandblast? Do I media blast? Now, sheet metal, no, I don't sandblast or media blast, mainly because these cars are too thin. It's not like the older Mustangs that had quite a bit thicker gauge sheet metal. These cars are pretty thin, they dent easy, and a lot of the blasters will warp the panels if you take it to them. I prefer to do it by hand, or you can chemically strip it. I don't like the chemical strip because it just makes a damn mess. Now, this car's original paint, so it's easy for me to strip. Now, if you've got a car that's been painted 6 times, like some people, there's a lot of paint on a car. Now, on your DA sander, there is a little thing at the base of the sanding wheel. You can turn that and lock it up so when you pull the trigger, it acts like a grinder. Now, if you've got a car that's been painted 6 or 7 times, that is the easiest way to strip your car to metal. Set it on that grinder mode, put a nice fresh piece of 80 grit on it, and just start cutting that paint down. Now, it's going to take a while if it's been painted a lot, but if you got a car like this one that I'm working on, it's pretty quick. I am not using grinder mode on this car, so for me, it's pretty easy. I've just been cutting it down as I go. I got the quarter stripped. It took me about maybe 30 minutes to strip the quarter panel with the original paint. Ford, all they did was e-coat, prime, then paint these cars. That's it. There's not a lot of material on these cars. Like back again, if you guys got one that's been painted a lot, once you got that, start stripping with that 80 grit. Once you hit metal, keep moving. Don't stay on that metal spot with that on grinder mode. Just keep moving and work that area till you get all that panel down the middle. Then you'll have to turn it off grinder mode, put some fresh 80 grit back on it, and go back over that whole panel again to cut what grinder marks you have put in that metal. That's what I say. Don't stay in one spot too long once you see that metal, because what that does is it removes that actual material. It takes some metal away from that spot. And if you stay on it enough, you're going to get a low spot like a dent. Again, this car, I'm lucky. It's original paint. I don't have that problem. But if I do have a car, that's how I do it. That's how you can do it. Now, if you got a sandblast guy that wants to do like your door jambs, your floor pans, your engine bay, by all means, hell yeah, have them blast that, because you're going to spend way more time trying to hand sand, hand jam, all that stuff. It's going to take forever, because I've got to do the jams on this one, and it's going to take me a minute. That I don't mind. I've got pretty good at it, so it's not too bad. So I'll show you how I'm doing this car, but first I'm going to show you the lead area up on the roof, which I've shown before. Show you how to cut that down. Ford puts way too much material in there. That's why they're always wavier. They look like shit. I go back again to my old buddy, my hand sander, block sander right here with the 80 grit on it. I've got it cut down a little bit. I stripped it down to bare metal and the lead that's in there already. I'm going to show you there's some high and low spots in it now, and I'll show you how to tell what's a high spot and what's a low spot. All right, so right in here, this is your factory roof skin. This is the quarter panel, 2 different panels. This is the roof skin right here. Comes in with a quarter, meets here, Ford spot welds it underneath here, and then they let it in right here. Now, they get a lot of lead in here in this area, so you always get a lot of lumps or high spots or low spots. But normally what I'll do, take it 80 grit, this right here in the center, this is a low spot, and you run your hand up at an angle like this. This is high as hell right here, very high. This right here, this feels pretty good on this side right here. So I'm not going to try to cut too much off this area as I am down here. This is really high right in here, just by feeling it. So I'll cut that down, just back and forth. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on it, and you can see that low spot is already disappearing. See how much smaller it is now? Now, you can see already it's almost gone. Now, I've still got a lot of material here I can remove, but up in here it feels nice and straight on the top half. This feels good right here. So don't take too much off here. You're going to end up with a low spot. Focus down on this right here. Now, if you've got, oh, Miss B, Baker, she got her eating. Now, if you still get all the sanded down and this is nice and smooth through here where it feels good, and you still got a low spot, you can add a little body filler in there. So that's how I work the lead area. This quarter's already stripped. I've got the bottom. I'll show you. I started with the bottom halves of these cars have rock guard on them, so I'll normally strip those on grinder mode, because if you try to do it on DA, it takes forever. I started this dog leg down here on the B-pillar at the bottom. I've got it real nice and cleaned up after grinder mode, back on DA, so how nice and smooth it looks. Then some grinder marks and some paint to show you kind of how to strip it and which steps and how to go about doing it. So let's check that out. All right, so down in here in this bottom, if you see how nice and smooth this is after I've went through. This is 80 grit on grinder mode. You can see how it cuts through, and this is what I mean. When you see metal, just keep on walking it till you get it all down to where it's kind of just like this right here, where you've got some primer, metal primer. Then once you get all the paint and all that off of it, put it on DA mode and sand it back down where it's nice and smooth, just nice clean metal. Now the good part about doing all that by hand, if you see here, I've got a little ding here, a little ding here, and there's also one right here, right there. See, if you cut that down by hand on a DA, the dents will show themselves. Not all of them, but most of the big ones will. So I'm going to set the camera up and let you watch me stripping the rest of this quarter, and then I'm going to do the rocker, the A-pillar, and get it all on primer. I don't think y'all want to watch that, but I'll show you what I can. I'm just trying to help you guys out. Everybody asks how I sand, how I strip cars, so I'm just letting you know how I do. So if you want to wait a second, get this set up, and you can watch me sand this quarter. All right, so I got my DA set up. Had to buy a new one. My other one shit to bed. Let's cut this down, 80 grit, on just sand mode, and this is what I'm talking about. At the base of the sander down here, all you have to do is turn this little wheel right here, and it'll lock it solid, so it'll act like it's a grinder, not a DA sander. There you go, that's it. Didn't take too long. Now, I'll show you what it looks like up close. Sorry about that. Now, a lot of guys I watch on Facebook or whatever doing these cars, it really aggravates the shit out of me. You see how fast I strip that section to metal. It's less than, what, 2 minutes? If you're sanding these cars with 220 and you've got red paint, metal, green primer, and you think that's good, I hate to tell you, but you're trying to prime that thing 4 times, block it 3 times to make that panel straight again. Versus spending a little bit more time, 10 or 20 minutes a panel, take it down to metal, etch, prime, 2K block, and you're done. You don't have to spend a ton of time, and then down the road, once you're ready to paint, you don't have to worry about sand scratches, bullseyes, and all that other stuff from old paint that's underneath your new primer. It makes it look like shit. So check this out real quick, and let me know what you think. All right, like I said, now, that little bit of green primer there, I'll go back over it again. And this right here, I'll hand sand right here. Takes a few minutes. Most of the time, your DA will get all that line out. There's a little red left. I'll hit with hand on with a piece of 80 grit. But yeah. So that's the quarter right there. Down to metal. Nice solid quarter. No issues whatsoever. So literally, I've been working on this quarter panel for like 45 minutes, stripping it to bare metal. And the last 20 of that's been filming this video. So I'm going to go ahead, fix these couple dents, get the lead area worked out good. I'm going to strip the rocker down the metal, get everything in there sanded down the best I can, get most all that other red out of there, get it ready for primer. My goal is to try to get this whole side primer today. And that's another thing, don't try to overwork a car. Like I've seen a lot of guys try to do quarter roof, quarter, and all in one day. Don't do that, because all you're gonna do is get in a hurry. You're gonna miss a dent, miss a ding, miss something because you're trying to focus and get all of it done in pretty relatively fast. I don't do that. I work faster than most, but I work slow for my age now. I used to be way faster than I am now. But let me know what you think so far. I think it's turned out pretty good. And again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm gonna go ahead and get this finished, get it ready for paint, or get it ready for primer, and then we'll see what it looks like with some primer on it. Alrighty, so it's been about 10 minutes for y'all. It's been 2 days for me. I spent a lot of time sanding down, stripping the rockers to bare metal, inside the hatch area to bare metal, bottoms of the rockers really well. The pinch welds on this thing were super straight. However, with this being an LX clip, I had to drill the holes for the ground effects retainer, so that's what took most of the time. I think I spent about 2 hours on that. Just being slacking, lazy. I'll show you what it looks like. I metal prepped it. It's ready to go. I got my etch primer mixed up. I'm fixing to spray the primer on it, and this side will be all one color, and it'll look like all one car instead of two different reds. So let's check it out real quick before I get this primer on there. All right, so got this area cut down. See, that's low spot's completely gone. Got that little dent fixed right there. I got this cleaned up in here. Gonna get some etch primer on all that real well. I did clean this lead up in here. It had a lot of excess lead, so I cleaned it up really well. And up in here, I did metal work these. There's a couple little dings right here and here. I did try to tap it in and stretch it from the back or get the metal file it down a little bit, but you're still gonna have a little skim coat when you work some dents from the backside. That little ding right here. These are the holes I was talking about. You have these two, these three right here aren't drilled, and then down the rockers you have 8 holes for the ground effects retainer. Look at them pinch welds, y'all. Woo-wee. Super straight. Now down in here, like I said, this piece right here was from the 93 Cobra that goes under the cowl, which is also part of the door hinge area. So I had some welds here when I welded that back in, so I cleaned it up a little bit of filler. And down in here also a couple spots. All this is cleaned up, ready to get etch primed, and we're rocking and rolling. Door jamb stripped up nice. Got most all the red paint off of it I could. A little bit left up on the top, not too much. Got most of this up in this area stripped down. Found a couple little dings right here I had to fix. And up in here, this lead area, there was a dent right here, and the factory lead's actually in really good shape. So that's all looking really well. Step back. Yeah. So let me know what you think so far. Go ahead and get my respirator on, get this thing primed in, etch primer on it, and let me know what you think so far. All right, got it ready to go. Get some primer on this bitch. All right. So I don't want to stay in here too long without a respirator on. This etch primer is nasty stuff. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what it looks like. I'll put 2 coats on this. This is the first one, and let you know what it looks like when it's done. All right. Now, etch primer, you got to be careful. It runs really easy, so don't lay it on too wet. So far, it looks good. All right, I'm gonna walk outside. Whew. So that's the progress so far. I'm gonna get second coat on this, let it cure up for a little while. It's cold outside. It's 70 in the shop. It's like 50 outside. This is probably the last video. It's gonna be Thanksgiving on a couple days from now. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope everybody's gonna have good holidays, whatever that is for y'all. Thanks for watching this project. Thanks for subscribing. Let me know on progress. I'm trying to show y'all as much as I can as I go. Sanding is kind of boring. You've seen me prime before, but you see me look down the side of that. When you put wet etch primer on it, that's the best time to look for dents. See if you missed anything. It looked really well. That quarter area where I fixed around a gas cap looks super nice. So yeah, I'm going to get the rest of the second coat on there, let it cure up, and get on the other side and the roof. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and y'all have a good holiday weekend.